The New York International Auto Show is happening. Lots to show you here, so this is just a quick look at the loads of stuff displayed on the floor. There's so much to see, and not all of it happy.
Let me show you around. You'll get all the benefits without running into all of the photographers, but you won't get any of the free food.
Let's start with the electrics. This is the Lucid Air. Apparently, one version packs 1,000 horsepower and all-wheel drive to handle it. A base car with 400 horsepower and over 200 miles of range will sell for about $60,000. This particular car clocked in at 217 miles an hour. The drag chute will probably not make it to the production models. Kia's Niro is adding a plug-in hybrid model to the lineup. Melissa McCarthy was not here for the unveil, but she'd probably say it goes 25 miles on battery power alone. The larger pack that tucks under the cargo floor and rear seat means that the trunk area shrinks by just under 4 cubic feet. Honda showed off the Clarity series of cars that will have a choice of all-electric, plug-in hybrid, and a fuel cell model. The plug-in hybrid version should have 42 miles of electric range, about 8 less than the Chevy Volt. In person, this car looks to slot in between Civic and Accord, so space will be fine for families. There were a few solid concepts at the New York show. Creating a buzz was Toyota's FT4X. If you're thinking FJ Cruiser, no, it's more Honda Element. This is a vehicle targeted at millennials, not rockhoppers. It's a polarizing look and it rides on the same platform as the CHR, if it's built. Genesis, Hyundai's luxury division, really needs an SUV, and it brought the GV80. This was my favorite concept at the show, even though these pillars will most likely not make it to production. Or the luggage. You can see where Genesis plans to go with the production vehicle, and I like it. No word if this is a 2 or 3-row rig.
Lot of performance vehicles here.
The big news being the Kia Rio. Okay, kidding. But there is a new one if someone you know needs inexpensive, reliable transportation. Seriously though, the Dodge Demon, if you haven't been bombarded by the marketing, is part of the new Fast and Furious 8 movie. Obviously built to go in a straight line, it's possessed with 840 horsepower. The closest most of us will get to one is the hat or t-shirt. Also from FCA is the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Its V8 makes 707 horsepower, and it will do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and the quarter mile in under 12. Jeep strengthened the all-wheel drive powertrain to handle the extra oomph. Keeping an eye on the Demon from across the way is the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. With 650 horsepower coming from the supercharged V8, it's not as fast in a straight line as the Dodge, but it will slay the Demon in the corners. The transmission is a 10-speed. Mercedes rolled out a bunch of AMG product, and these cars are all lovely to look at. Certainly they'll be fun to drive if you have the money. Audi now has a new defined division like AMG and BMW's M. Audi Sport has some good things like the RS3 and the RS5. Not an Audi Sport, but there will probably be one, is the new Q5 crossover, which will become the company's most popular car. That's the bet I will lay down. Honda doubled up on fun Civics. The Type R is finally coming to the US. This fire-breathing version of the Civic is strictly a hatchback with adaptive dampers, a 6-speed manual, and 306 horsepower hooked up to the front wheels. It's not for everyone. For more modest fun, the SI returns in coupe and sedan form. It also gets adaptive suspension, but a more tame 205 horsepower. The seats should hug nicely during hard shenanigans. Not only did Acura throw a rocking party, they showed up with a significantly freshened TLX. Good to see the Performance A-Spec is back on sale. Acura seems to be doubling down on performance again. That's great to see. Kia is looking to get into performance driving with the Stinger. Looking like a more menacing Optima, this is a rear-drive machine. All-wheel drive with active torque vectoring is optional. It can be had with a 360-horse twin-turbo V6. The handling was tuned by a former BMW M engineer. Should be fun. Porsche was showing off the new GT3. If I start talking funny, it's because I'm drooling. It will be available with a 6-speed manual transmission or 7-speed PDK dual-clutch automatic. There's 500 horsepower on tap. It starts at a reasonable $145,000. And if that's reasonable to you, perhaps you will buy one for me. I'd appreciate it. There's also the Panamera Sport Turismo. You can call it a wagon, or you can just call it attractive. Really, it's a distinct look that should attract a number of buyers. Finally, luxury and performance. Lexus showed off the F-Sport version of their new LS500. Apparently, it took CAD designers 5 months to get the grille just right, so it's safe to say the details have been sweated. This sporty LS is motivated by an all-new twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 engine with 415 horsepower and a 10-speed automatic gearbox.
Trucks. There are a lot of trucks.
In fact, that was the focus of the New York show, since that's what people are buying these days. The big kahuna here, quite literally, was the new Lincoln Navigator. Matthew McConaughey was nowhere in sight, but this big SUV will give Cadillac Escalade some competition. Finally. There's a lot to like when this car is luxed out. The powertrain includes a twin-turbocharged 3.5-liter V6 with around 450 horsepower and a 10-speed transmission. Slotting in between a Voelk and Range Rover Sport is the Land Rover Velar. It's built on the same architecture as the Jaguar F-Pace, so it's a 2-row machine. Velar gets power from turbo 4s and a supercharged 6-cylinder. Of course, there's all-wheel drive, but no door handles. Well, until they pop out. A lot less money will get you the second-generation Subaru Crosstrek. It's built on the company's new global platform that's much more robust than the outgoing vehicle. This should improve the car quite a bit, just like the new Impreza. For those who want to supersize their Subi, here's the new Ascent. Think of it as a replacement for the old Tribeca. Looking a bit like a larger, sleeker Forester in person, this should be a hit for Subaru since it's been a while since they've had a 3-row crossover. The Volvo XC60 has been around since 2009. Here's the all-new one. It gets some of Volvo's new styling cues, but still recalls the original. That's good. I always like the design of that crossover. The new interior gets cues from Big Brother XC90, meaning it's an upscale cabin. Volkswagen showed off the long overdue Tiguan. The important news here is that it and the big Atlas will be getting a much longer warranty to combat the impression that VWs are troublesome. It's 6 years or 72,000 miles bumper to bumper, and it's transferable. This is the kind of thing that worked well for Hyundai. GMC has a new Terrain, and it loses the squared-off, blocky appearance. For those complaining that all crossovers look the same, this one is for you. It's very different, though I'm wondering about the rearward blind spot. At a separate event, the Buick folks took the wraps off the new Enclave, and this is a very attractive vehicle with a lower look to it now. Love the way the Ventaports are integrated in and not just tacked on. There's also a new sub-brand called Avenir for those who want the most luxurious Buick on the block. Finally, it seems to be law that if you're an auto writer, you must love station wagons. I do. The new Buick Regal Tourex is pretty slick. It will come standard with all-wheel drive and will compete with Audi Allroad and Volvo V60 Cross Country. Seriously. Regal will also come in another form, a hatchback, called the Sportback. Significantly, there will be no sedan version of the Regal. There you go, folks. That is my quick tour of the 2017 New York International Auto Show. Sorry if I missed your favorite. I'm just one guy with a camera, and I have a plane to catch and edit this thing. Cheers!